What's up, everybody? So today, have some awesome vintage pickups. It's almost like I'm bringing the National home. I didn't actually make it this year, unfortunately, and I'm really enjoying all the videos that people are already posting on it. It looks like it's huge, by the way. The people are saying it's about 40%, 50% bigger than it was last time. And the last one, I was at the last one in Chicago, and it was enormous. So I can imagine walking the floor is probably exhausting. But since I'm not there, I did make some pickups on my own, brought the National home, and brought home a couple of really awesome cards. So I'm just going to show them to you guys. So first off, I just showed this in the last video. I guess I'll show it again. The 1956 Eddie Matthews in a PSA 8. Absolutely brilliant, beautiful card from one of my favorite sets. Okay, one of the newer cards, I have not shown this card off yet. Picked up this 1951 Bowman Enos Slaughter. Just thought this card looked fantastic. It's all 51 Bowman, of course, is the home of the Mickey Mantle rookie and the Willie Mays rookie. And just really like this card. I like the eye appeal on it, so I picked it up. I think it was like $100. Nothing crazy, but just a really nice looking card of a Hall of Famer. I think he was, Enos Slaughter is like something like a 10-time All-Star. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame in the 1980s, I think, by the Veterans Committee. So Hall of Fame player. I think his nickname is Country. Really great player for the St. Louis Cardinals. So pick that. Look at that beauty up. Next, you might see some, I did the background of all, T206 cards, and I picked up two brand new T206 cards, always looking to add to the collection, and picked up these two beauties. Look at this. Oh, man. Look at the eye appeal on these two cards are incredible. So one of them is this guy, Charlie Rhodes, played for the St. Louis Cardinals, was a pitcher. Doesn't have a huge career. I think he only, had like 20 something decisions as a pitcher. And then look at this Mike Powers, a 4.5. I don't have any idea how this is only a 4.5. It's one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen, for a 4.5. So this guy's name is Mike Powers. You can see here he played for the Philadelphia Athletics. And the interesting thing about Mike Powers was, well, for one, he was his name is Doc Powers. If you look him up, Wikipedia, his name is Doc Powers. He was a physician, so that's pretty cool. But then the really crazy thing, the interesting thing was that he was trying to make a catch in 1909 and crashed into the wall and ended up passing away 3 weeks later. So because of a baseball-related injury, died in 1909. So, and so I don't know if he has any other cards. This might be his only card, but just really, look at the eye appeal. A beautiful card. I love the background on it. So two really awesome T206 cards to add to the collection. Again, I'm not a huge, I don't really care that much about the backs. I know a lot of people like the really difficult backs to get, but for me, it's all about the eye appeal of the card more than anything. So, and in these SGC holders, they just look fantastic. So, really happy to add these two to the collection. Then one of the coolest cards that I've added to my collection. Now, you guys know, and I think I show these two cards off as much as I can on this channel. The Cap Anson and the King Kelly. These are from 1888, so 1888, and then the oldest card up until now, the oldest card that I had in my collection was this 1887 Old Judge Sun Daly, and, we're talking about, 135 years ago on these cards. Well, I finally beat that. I now have a new oldest card in my collection, and look at this. The 1878 Huntley and Palmers. Just for some perspective, guys, this is 145 years old. It's incredible. And maybe some more perspective, the light bulb was invented in the 1870s. So when this card was produced, they didn't even have light bulbs. They didn't have telephone. Telephone was invented in the 1870s. So you can imagine, like, the fact that this card even exists is incredible to me. 145 years old, 1878, Huntley and Palmers. This one's in a 3, but looks absolutely fantastic. Look at this. Look at this guy catching. Does he not even have a glove on? And look at the way this guy's standing. Just love it. So Huntley and Palmers is a biscuit company in England. Just love this image. And, the fact that this even exists is interesting because, baseball is seen as an American sport. And so this was made in England. And so the fact that this card exists is interesting to me in itself. And then you can see here on the back, Huntley and Palmers biscuits. Some of it is in English and then some of it is in French for some reason. So you can see some of this is in French, and I guess you can see lemon rings, milk, some interesting things. Another interesting thing about this set, there's a bunch of the other cards in the set. They're all different sports. Actually very similar to the 1888, how there's different sports. But this one, it's just different sports. It's like golf and I forget what else is in there. But I think lacrosse, one of the first lacrosse cards. So you can see here's the back. It says something about Paris on the back. De la Exposition in Paris in 1878. So it looks like it's making some sort of reference to something, some sort of exposition in Paris in 1878. But just it's such an awesome piece of history here. 145 years old, guys. That is just incredible. So I'm just going to throw that one in the background. And what the hell? Let's throw the Mike Powers in the background as well. And what is this? Charlie Rhodes. Throw these new T206 cards in the background. And then finally, the biggest card that I picked up, and a card that everyone should own, that's big into owning. You guys know if I have any focus with my collection, it's owning every piece of baseball history from the early 1800s or late 1800s till today. And you can't have a full view into the history of baseball without this guy, Pete Rose. This is obviously his rookie card from 1963. Pete Rose, he has the most hits ever, the most at-bats ever, I believe the most game played ever, the most outs ever. So just an incredible career. I think he was like a 17-time All-Star. I might be making some of this stuff up. But, just an incredible career. And of course would be a shoo-in Hall of Famer if it weren't for, gambling on baseball, which is incredibly unfortunate. My opinion is you can't have the Hall of Fame without guys like Pete Rose. You talk about the history of baseball. You're looking through the history of baseball, and you don't have the guy that has the most hits ever, the most at bats ever, the most outs ever, and you're not going to have him in the Hall of Fame. I think it's a huge miss. But I will say I do understand why they've kept him out of the Hall of Fame. I just feel like I feel like he's served his sentence and he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. I feel like the Hall of Fame should be the history of baseball. And without someone like Pete Rose, it just you can't really tell the full story. So I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled to add this to the collection. You can see here Pedro Gonzalez, Ken McMullen, and Al Weiss is who he shares the card with. And then here is the back. Really nice looking back. You can see here, PWCC, I guess, had it as top 15% exceptional. So for whatever reason, PWCC had this as a top 15%, I guess, for a 4.5. Great centering. I know this card is sometimes very difficult to get centering, and you guys know if you see any theme with my cards, it's like centering is a must. on all my cards. Otherwise, they better be really nice in other categories. So that's it, guys. That is almost like, that is my version of bringing the National home. Pete Rose rookie, a card from 1878, a couple of T206 cards, an Enos Slaughter from 51, and a 56 Topps Eddie Matthews. Hopefully you guys are loving the National footage as much as I am. Hopefully people continue to post. I'm sure they will. And I could live vicariously through that. But in the meantime, it is pretty awesome. Sometimes you could just buy these cards from home and not have to go anywhere and not have to get on a plane to Chicago. Although what I miss more than anything is not so much the cards that I can get, but the opportunity to see all the other, the YouTubers and meeting everybody in person. That's really what I miss. And I definitely want to get back to the National in Cleveland next year. So that's it, guys. That's my bringing the National home. Hopefully you guys liked the video, and I will talk to you later.